Trapmore gang, it's been a while since we've tapped in with K-Flock, real name Kevin Perez. He was facing a serious set of charges over the last few years. I've covered his situation on this channel quite a few times. And unfortunately, we have now, or maybe fortunately, depending on how you're looking at it, we do actually now have a resolution as far as his case. So it has basically been quite an interesting development, okay, because this was back in March 22nd of 2025, and it said drill rapper K-Flock was convicted on the RICO and conspiracy charges, but he avoided the murder charges. Now, it says Bronx drill rapper K-Flock was found guilty on several federal charges this week in relation to a 2021 fatal shooting in the Bronx, including attempted murder, but found plenty to brag about, okay? It's unusual, right? He basically popped out in a post online. He said, "I beat the top count, but I made the judge cry." He said, "Now he's not forced to give me life. Never fold, never will." He continued, right? It was a different story back then, right? He was set to be sentenced on July the 16th. I guess I believe that got pushed back, and there was kind of some back and forth, some changes. But basically, him and 7 associates were alleged to have been behind a series of shootings that unfolded in the Bronx between 2020 and 2022, resulting in the murder of 24-year-old Oscar Hernandez. He was gunned down outside of a Harlem barbershop on December the 16th, 2021. And what's really crazy is that this case, this situation, you know, I remember seeing the news the day that this happened on December the 16th, seeing it on Reddit. You know, I was somewhere for Christmas time. It was very cold morning when I got the news. And I just remember thinking, damn, what a shame, because this is somebody that had so much potential. This is somebody that really was having a lot of good music in the Bronx drill scene. He was really carrying the Bronx drill scene on his back. And it was just sad to think, man, that could be it. And, you know, in light of the recent updates, it is sounding like it could be over. Now, the victim was shot in the neck and back after trying to flee the barbershop. I don't know if that's an accurate way of describing what we saw on the camera. But K-Flock's team basically argued the shooting was in self-defense, and jurors returned their verdict after 2 days of deliberation. And K-Flock was convicted of racketeering, conspiracy, use of a firearm resulting in death, attempted murder, assault with a dangerous weapon in aid of racketeering, use of a firearm for attempted murder, and assault with a dangerous weapon. The rapper was the leader of the neighborhood street gang known as the Sev Site, or DOA. With that gang, he committed a series of gang-motivated shootings. Perez, the drill rapper, instilled fear across the community with his violent actions and then threatened rivals, bragged about shootings, taunted victims in his rap lyrics, but as a unanimous jury has now found, he can no longer hide behind his music and will be held to account for his violent crimes. Okay, now before his arrest and before it all went left for K-Flock, this guy had the kind of motion that you can only dream of, all right? I don't want to play the song. I don't want to get in trouble. Really? This track, Is You Ready, was just a banger. All right, this was crazy. It's got over 100 million views. So he's getting to that bag while he's inside. All right, he's been sat in a New York prison for quite some time, and he's going to be sat there for an even longer period of time. Okay, but back in 2021, before this all went down, he was blood bandanaed up. He was making some of the most impactful music in Bronx drill, and he was really making a big name for himself. But he unfortunately went out sad, man, because that very same year, right, while he's doing songs that are going on to get 100 million views, this is a hit song. This is a hit song. He's also sliding on his ops publicly, all right? He's spinning the blocks, catching his ops lacking, making them run on camera, all right? Don't run, don't trip. All of this stuff that he did. He was really living the lifestyle that he was rapping about, man. And there's countless videos and clips. I've broken it down in multi-hour-long investigative documentaries here on YouTube. But basically, you see down. And look, he's got songs that have got 100 million views. This video of him spinning and catching his ops lacking and making them run on camera, this has got 600,000 views. Some rappers would wish they had these numbers on their songs. He's doing these numbers on videos of him spinning on ops, all right? But look, this was never going to end well, all right? It was always going to go left. It was always, unfortunately, he had the wrong mindset. And basically, just before that shooting that led to his arrest, okay, this would be one of the kind of craziest things that he would post. He would post up on Instagram, all right, just whiling out. This is him on FaceTime with his ops telling them that he's spinning before he caught the murder. And basically, he shows off the strap. He shows off the clip. And this was just around the corner from where the shooting happened, right? And he's lucky, really, that he didn't end up going down fully for full-blown murder, all right? And we ended up seeing what happened in the surveillance footage, right? I'm going to be very, very careful with what I show you here. But basically, okay, he's walking past this it's a barber shop, I guess, and a dude, Oscar, comes out, all right, and basically confronts him, and that's when it all goes left. It all goes left. I'm not going to show you exactly what happened, okay, but he comes outside. Okay, I'm going to take it off the screen right now. But basically, there's a confrontation. He comes out of that barbershop. Okay, there's another angle that we're going to see here. But basically, he kind of confronts him. He's got his hands in his jacket. And then K-Flock opens fire. And we see the victim fall back and stumble to the ground. And somebody runs over to try and help. But it's too late. Okay. And really, this was the incident that kind of sparked everything to kind of fall apart for K-Flock. He ends up facing these murder charges. But what's even more crazy is that while he's behind bars, waiting to get this situation resolved, they slap him with a big indictment. 8 members of Bronx gang Sev Side and Third Side charged with murder, racketeering, and related violent offenses. Okay, it's very, very serious, right? And basically it says that, for years, Sev Side and Third Side engaged in disputes with rival crews in the Bronx and Manhattan, resulting in numerous acts of violence, including Perez murdering Oscar Hernandez in broad daylight, Manhattan, December the 16th, 2021. Now, obviously, the murder didn't end up going the way that it was maybe the prosecutors were hoping, but what ended up happening is that, these were serious charges, okay? Kevin Perez, that's K-Flock, okay, age 19. They're giving him a whole table of charges: racketeering conspiracy, murder in aid of racketeering, use of a firearm resulting in death, attempted murder, assault with a dangerous weapon in aid of racketeering, use of a firearm for attempted murder, assault with a dangerous weapon. And he was facing mandatory life in prison or death. He was potentially facing the death penalty. How crazy is that? Now, K-Flock did beat the murder charge. He did get very, very lucky, to be honest with you. And he addressed the outcome in a public Instagram post. He said, "I beat the top count. I made the judge cry." He said, "Now he's not forced to give me life. Alhamdulillah, everything good, not good, and everything bad, not bad. Just got to stay humble till the outcome of your situation and see what Allah got for you. Chin up, chest out shit. Ain't over nowhere near. Remain a G and stay sucker free. Never fold, never will. Free the thoroughbred ones. Kill all the rats." That kill all the rats, that might not have done you too many favors, right? But unfortunately, as we've now found out, and ironically, okay, it's coming pretty much very, very close, if not on the 4-year anniversary of Oscar Hernandez actually losing his life in this situation. Okay, I don't think that there's I don't think it's a coincidence. I think the judge probably did feel like, well, we got you off. We couldn't get you on that murder charge, but since we got to make an example of you, and we're going to sentence you on the 4-year anniversary of that incident where a man lost his life. Basically, he was sentenced to 300 months or 30 years. Okay, and the reaction basically, the lawyer laughed at shit gonna get better, right? People were basically saying, damn, they blew his head off. He would have been in his cell crying. So I appreciate my mama for being strict, as much as I hated it when I was younger, saying it was better than Coach the Ghost. Coach must have had the worst lawyer in the world, they're saying. Only dudes on Reddit think the feds are a game. They really put you away. Because the feds too, you got to do 85%. So basically his ass got to do 20-something before being eligible for a parole. Only good thing he's young as F, so he'll still be semi-young when he gets out. He'll be a unk for real, but still living. If you don't get more time on his other case, better than being a queso. Saying he's going to come back to a fully gentrified area where he doesn't recognize or know anyone. Good luck, big dog. It's going to be a Starbucks and a Target on the block when he gets out. That's actually crazy perspective. Anyone who's surprised is lost. Everyone knew he was going to get cooked. He wasn't down for no BS charges. What did you expect? But some people, all right, maybe it's wishful thinking or maybe it's just pragmatism, but some people are basically saying that there are actually some programs that might be allowed to, might help him reduce his sentence down and basically, get his federal term reduced. There's been talk online that with some sentence reduction programs, okay, he might actually be able to get himself out, maybe even less than 20 years, right? He's got earned time credit under the First Step Act, also known as the Good Time Credit, okay? He's got the residential drug abuse program where he can basically do a drug abuse treatment program. He probably off the perks and them, I don't know. They're saying good conduct time. It rewards adherence to institutional rules and overall good behavior. There's basically some ways that in federal prison, he might be able to get his sentence reduced. It is possible, okay? But unfortunately, this is a very sad end to the K-Flock story. It was a very sad, out of control time in music. Bronx Drill was really taking over the airwaves. He was beefing with his cousin D-Thang. Thankfully, they're saying that him and his cousin D-Thang that were beefing and trying to kill each other at a certain point, maybe squash their beef behind bars. But let this be another lesson to the next generation, man. This is not the way to go. If you're out here filming yourself spinning on the ops, filming yourself running ops down, filming yourself outside of the spot with a gun tucked in your pants ready for anyone that comes. Well, somebody that pulled up on him ended up losing their life, and even though he beat the murder, you got wrapped up in the whole racketeering charge, and we're not going to be seeing K-Flock for at least 20 years. This is not the way to go out. Streets is a myth. It is not the way to go. Okay, we're all fighting our own demons, and if you come from a very difficult background, you coming from these areas where the gangs really have a grip of the streets, there is another way. You got to find another way out, because you got to think about this for the long term. It's cool getting some clout, chasing the ops down on IG Live, having your song, dissing all the ops, but really, this didn't work out. Now, K-Flock stuck behind bars for 20 years, and this 100 million views on his songs ain't really doing nothing for him. Okay, so let that be a lesson to you guys. I hope you found that breakdown interesting. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Sorry, I was a little bit slow on this story. I was at the dentist, and I ain't gonna lie, my face is hurting today. Okay, so I will keep you guys posted on any updates that I've got coming soon. Appreciate you tapping in. I'll catch you in the next video, gang. I'm out here. Peace.